Hey, Sean Bodley here. I'm a senior IT consultant with Clear Technologies, and I'm going to demonstrate how to utilize the new feature of zones in the PowerHA 722 user interface. It's called the SMUI for System Mirror User Interface. So let me get started. I've already logged in to the SMUI here, and like some things, there's more than one way to do the same thing. So normally when you log in, you come straight to this health summary. You can see I already have two zones created here, prod and test. Now, I can create a new zone. I can add a cluster. If I do add a cluster from here, it's going to put it in the unassigned. And then after it's unassigned, I can move it into a zone. So I'm going to do a combination thereof. Now, I could technically add it straight into an existing zone if I click on any of the zones. It says I can add cluster here. I'm actually going to do it the more difficult way just to show the multiple ways that you can get there from here. Now, a zone is really just a logical collection of clusters. Probably they have something in common, like their location, or the type of machine, or the type of application they're running, or what they're used for, whether it's production or dev or test or whatever the case may be. That is kind of the logic behind using zones. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my cluster into the SMUI. So I've already has one created. It's the one that I created my CLEZ update demo from. So I'm going to tell it to go find Jessica and pull in that cluster. So it's going to go discover the information, each node in the cluster. So we've got Jessica and Jordan both running at the GA level of PowerHA 722. So as you can see, as it's gathering the information about the cluster, it put it down here in the unassigned field. So I can just, doesn't matter where it is, I can always look at the status, if it's in the zone, not in a zone. And I can tell it to move the cluster. Now this shouldn't be confused with actually move a resource group. This move cluster means to actually put it in a zone. Or I can also say add cluster here, and I could have pulled it in straight into that zone, but I manually added it so it's unassigned. So I'm going to create a new zone. So I'm going to go to create zone. Could have done it from the pick list. It'll show me what my zones are. Tell it to add a zone, and I'm just going to name it dev. And I can add the cluster right away that's unassigned. I'm going to skip that for now, just because I'm going to show you how to manually add it after the fact. But I could add it at the same time of creating it. I can also select any custom users that I've created. I've created one called Opmon, but I'm not going to assign it to this zone. And now I have a new zone called dev. So I'll get back out of this. I'll go back to my health summary. And I have my three zones. I have prod, test, and dev, and nothing is in either one of test or dev. But now I'm going to tell it to move my cluster. And where am I moving it to? I'm going to put it in the dev group. And there you go. I've now created a new zone called dev. I've added a new cluster to it. And like I said, you can actually click on the zone itself and add the cluster straight away without going to the unassigned. But I wanted to show each way that it could be done. And of course, you can move it to another zone if you like. And overall, that is about it. So just like usual, if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment or send me an email, and I'll be glad to help any way I can.